wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all...
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. And we wake this morning.
Happy Monday.
Hey.
Happy Monday.
Hey. How is everyone?
Good.
Ooh,
Good.
early.
Great. Well, we got some interesting news today for you that happened on Friday in the world of cannabis. So, Yo Tea and Cannabis, how about you all take this segment out?
Yes, absolutely. So, Yo, that the House passed the MORE Act again.
Oh, wow. Yeah, see, here's a news clip about it.
Make no mistake, yes, it is a racial justice bill. According to the ACLU, Black Americans are nearly 4 times more likely to be arrested for cannabis-related crimes than white Americans, despite equal rates of use.
The problem of the cartels, the illegal activity, the black market is a result of the fact that the federal government does not have its act together. People across the country have acted to take it into their own hands. And as a result, we have a piecemeal approach. 48 states have some form of legalization.
Hey, thanks for watching.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Go
go ahead.
got a
I'm
whole
sorry.
lot to say.
Yeah, it's a lot going on. I mean, while it's great, what do y'all think? You think it's going to pass the Senate or what?
Shoot, I don't know if Joe wakes up. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to see if he wakes up and sign, it just got to pass the Senate. But I know good and well if the Democrats don't get off their butts and vote for this and pass this like they promised, they might as well go ahead and pack their bags. To be honest,
It's going to be rough. We're here again. What do y'all think?
Yeah. It's one of those things for me. It's like, yes, you are, because how many times has it already passed the House, and got to the Senate and died or didn't cross? Yeah. So, I'll be honest with you and say I'm not as optimistic, simply because of the fact that, the Senate, we do have trouble passing some things in the Senate, and we know how political things can be. But we also know that, like, something else I was actually reading, that Schumer, Cory Booker, and someone else actually has another bill that's in the Senate that's kind of similar to the MORE Act as well. So I don't know if they're going to be looking at the bill that the House has and go ahead and pass it, or are they going to drop that one and try to pass the one that Schumer has, which will also, if I'm not mistaken, if I have it all correct, once it passes in the Senate, it still has to go to the House. It still has to cross over. So how much longer will we have to wait for this? That's the thing. And this is just, we've been waiting for so long to have this happen, to have records expunged, to be able to have legalization, to have it, removed from being a Schedule 1. Let's put it back in the pharmacopoeia so that everyone can actually have access to it, or doctors can prescribe it as opposed to recommending it. So it's a lot, but I honestly do not have the confidence in our Senate to pass this, and so I'm keeping my fingers crossed on it and hoping that we can get something done. And I mean, I'm not gonna take everybody's time here, but it's time. It really is time.
Yeah, because they're not taking in consideration about those business owners that they're saying that's getting robbed and stuff over there because they having to carry cash, because the banks there's no safe banking act, you know what I mean? Even though it passed in February again. So we just want to make sure that once it passed, yeah, exactly. It's like either you're going to poop or get off the pot. I did say poop. It is Monday morning.
Yeah, that's the big one right there.
I was going to say, even after that, we still have to worry about state law, right? Because after, let's just say everything passes, they're still leaving it up to specific states to what they want to do. And then here we are in Georgia. So
we already know they're gonna cut up and act a fool. They're gonna act a fool because they ain't even giving us the 5% THC oil and CBD, and that's nothing. 5%, 5%. Seriously? I mean, get real. I mean, regardless, they got to think about this scientifically. They got to think about the fact that regardless of how cannabis oil or whatever it can sit, it can either get it can change into another compound with the CNN, CBN, and all that other stuff. So, but they got to take that in consideration too. So, I'm trying to put limits and caps on the amount of THC. So, anyway.
But another part to that too, as Tianna said, they're leaving it up to the states as to whether they're going to legalize it. Because even though it's federally legal, the states would have the opportunity to do their own thing, I would say. And so that raises a lot of concern for me, because when we talk about legalization, it's legal federally, but if it's not legal in that particular state, what does that do for the criminal side of it? Will there be state laws and so forth that are passed where people are still having to go to jail even though it's federally legal? And what type of fight that a person would have to have, what cost will they have, trying to fight that because they know it's federal. And people don't have that. A lot of people don't have that kind of money to fight things legally like that. So that's my big concern, leaving it up to the states. I just think that they should I understand states have their particular laws that they're going to actually follow, but this should be across the board that the states should be mandated to if it's legal federally, it's legal on a state level. Now, how they want to work that out as far as their dispensaries or what have you, I can see that being left up to the state. But the legalization to me should be across the board.
Definitely. But on the reason why you think about, because they think about all that money that they're making. They make a whole bunch of money and they want to tax it. Money. That's how is that how they got Al Capone? You know what I mean? Tax evasion. We don't care. You don't allegedly killed all these other people and just missing, but yet still,
we don't know. We don't know. But think about this though. Speaking of state, we're gonna bring it on back to Georgia. Bring it on back to Georgia, because this is where this is going to come into play as well. Even with we talked about it being legal on a federal level, but the states being able to mandate their own processes for it. This brings us back to the town hall that we all just attended about a couple of Saturdays ago. That Saturday. So looking at that, I'm just wondering how we're going to do all of this. We attended a town hall in Fort Oglethorpe, Georgia, and to speak against basically the Delta 8 attempt in Georgia. And it's really horrible, horrible situation that they're going through up there in Catoosa County with Sheriff Fisk. So we do have some videos that we definitely want to kind of take a look at from the town hall, just kind of giving everybody a little recap of what we actually experienced and some of the speakers that we had on that particular day. Because it seems right now, honestly, anytime in this particular state, when this cannabis industry takes 2 steps forward, Georgia takes, I know we want to say, you say 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. No, it seems like we're taking 10 steps back in this state. Right. Yeah, 420. 420. We're taking it back. And it's just crazy.
And it's getting deep. It's getting
very
deep because
very.
This one right here, the one that I'm about to show now. Oh my God, this is the one from one of the organizers, Teresa Yarbrough. And after watching it again from leaving the audience, it's chilling. It's chilling. It just something about when she read this letter. It's actually a letter that was sent to her, So let's go ahead and I'm gonna add it to the stream. Let's see if this is
announcing this meeting tonight. Well, I got this in response from a man who calls himself Paul Peterson. Gloves off, he writes. You are going to be reported to all agencies within Georgia as you are a terrible person and pushing misinformation. A law official has the right to follow the law, and you are trying to do criminal action. I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that you are removed from any position and that your organization is put on a list with federal agents and
I had to stop it right there. Did y'all hear that? I'm just saying. Y'all heard that, man.
Oh, yeah, we heard it. This live and in person. Heard it.
Oh my God. It's a different effect. Seriously, you heard how it's so chilling. It's like we coming after you. And usually we I know you speak about the legacy, but to actually see it happening right before our eyes, it's just like, wait a minute. And I mean, I can't say I'm speechless with this. But
I just can't imagine, just the way that letter was written. And I know we had more of it that we actually heard, but just to say that someone is saying that you're going to put someone on a federal list behind a plant, or want to raid their home, all those types of things is totally ridiculous behind a plant. It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me the stigma that's on this one plant.
It's okay. Can I be transparent too? Like, it's very scary because to see the type of lashing out that they're doing to the community and to people who are not people of color, right? Imagine if it had been someone of color, and we are pushing this, right? But imagine the backlash that we are going to get. Like, this is on a whole nother spiritual level. That's how I feel. Yeah. Like, it's mind-blowing, the hate that is behind all of this. But you already know. Go ahead and you can finish the clip because
because it's eerie. It's eerie,
Local authorities. The IRS will be contacted also since you are so arrogant. I have been in the industry 5 years, following state and federal laws. You cannot say the same as you are a criminal, pushing criminal actions against law enforcement. I can't wait to see you arrested on news and your organization exposed by federal agents. Everyone that is a part of your group is a criminal, and they allow you to represent them. That is how I, as a professional and a concerned American, deal with criminals like you. Don't write me in prison, as I will not respond. Justice is coming for you.
Wow.
Well, first of all, I'd like to inform Mr. Peterson that he's too late. They already know who I am.
That part.
40 years I've been on this list. So he's a little bit late to the game. But it's all most.
Teresa's badass. She's like, come see me.
Yes.
It's just like, drop the mic. She did that. Oh my God.
It's too late. I'm already on that list. They already know who I am.
And and what? But you know what? This joker right here, and I'm gonna say, okay, all due respect. Sheriff Fisk, even though you're not respecting your community, I'm just gonna tell you this. You had a wild hair up your butt for cannabis since the beginning of the medical cannabis program. How selfish can you be? How selfish can you be? Do you realize that there's some conditions out there that are not covered up under the low dose THC program that people are having to depend on from the Delta 8? You're selfish. You're a selfish person. You need to research about cannabis and hemp. And I said what I said, and I'm saying it with my chest.
I mean, I feel like he's already researched. I feel like they know the benefits, but they also know the benefits of the money. They also know the benefits of having people locked up in the prison system. So this is not new. You know what I mean? Like, there's too much information out there for someone to claim being oblivious and not knowing what is going on. I can't.
I say let's turn the finger pointing back at the other people. Like, he so blatantly called Teresa a criminal. And the people that support her criminals. Well, who do you support, Mr. Peterson? And are the people that you support criminals? Did anybody you support run up in the Capitol January 6th? Anybody you support Russia because they criminals. You up in the metaverse, they doing criminal activity.
Say it again.
So I think we should be calm. I think we need to be careful. And I think it's about privilege and white privilege and supremacy that anybody could get up and just so blatantly call anybody else a criminal behind with your Twitter fingers.
Right.
You ain't say it to her face. You ain't come to Oglethorpe and call her a criminal and the people that support her to our face.
Not to the face.
I would like to know what kind of criminal activity you support. The bill passing where they let people molest little girls and rape little girls and don't get abortions. You support that? That's criminal. So let's be careful with the word criminal. That's what I would say to Mr. Peterson.
Mr. Peterson's probably sitting in the audience, not showing face. How about those?
You know what? I think you already know who I'm trying to say.
We're gonna move to the next slide. That's what we're gonna do. But I got
all right. All right. Let's go ahead. Let me go ahead on back to Ryan Ralston. He gave out some very good information. Ryan Ralston. He's the executive director of Peachtree Normal. So here we go. Let me make sure I cue it up right. Let's rewind it back. And here we go. DJ. Oh, I got to push play. My bad. All right. No sound? Wait a minute. Hold on. I got the video. I got it. I thought.
Crime rate is 3% above the national average. 3%.
We need to focus on something else.
Over the past decade, Catoosa County averages about 3,600 arrests annually. 3,600 of its citizens are arrested each year by the Catoosa County Sheriff. The majority of those arrests are comprised of DUI, simple assault, and theft. So let's exclude DUI for one moment. Okay, let's exclude DUI for one moment because I don't know if those DUIs were reported as a result of a motor vehicle accident where somebody was harmed, or maybe it was just simply a DUI arrest, somebody was driving under the influence of alcohol and there was no identified victim. But what I really want to talk about is that the majority of the arrests over the past 10 years have occurred for simple assault where there's an identified victim. Someone has been harmed by another human being, or a theft, someone's property is stolen as a result. If you talk about or look at the crime rate here in Catoosa County, 36% of all other counties in Georgia are safer than Catoosa County. 36% of other counties throughout our state are safer than Catoosa County. And yet, Sheriff Fisk insists on criminalizing or over-criminalizing his citizens who are doing nothing more than engaging in lawful business. Let me repeat that for 1 second. He is intentionally trying to criminalize a peaceful people for doing nothing more than engaging in lawful business. Who is the criminal? Who is the criminal?
All right.
Before Sheriff Fisk starts pointing his tyrannical finger at other people.
All right.
Wow.
That's all. Yeah.
Sounds like being black in America. Being doing regular, just normal shit, legal shit, and it's illegal. Welcome to being black in America.
It's just a little bit of diet, though. It's a little bit of diet because I didn't realize it until, I don't know. I guess I was oblivious to it for some years. You know what I mean? Because I always felt like, okay, if I do what I'm supposed to do, follow the law and stuff like that. But for something legal like this, to be attacked and criminalized about something that's legal and you're trying to take it away, that's some bull crap right there, buddy. Hey.
But the thing of that too, though, this is just the part that got me. Listening to what he said. We're listening to the statistics of the crime in Catoosa County. Okay? We listen to the statistics. But yet you're focusing on shop owners that are legally operating a business. But yet you can't go after or you using taxpayer dollars to go after people who are legally in business. But you can't use those same taxpayer dollars to go after the real criminal. People who actually committed crimes. The rapists. Yes.
The rapists.
That part.
I wonder, does Mr. Peterson know any of them people? I'm sorry.
No, while he's calling to a criminal, those are the real criminals. Those are the people that they should be going after. But the
Fisk is a criminal.
Dollars are actually,
Sheriff Fisk is a criminal. If you terrorize the people of yours under your oath as a sheriff, it does not say that you are to terrorize people who are not breaking the law. You're not supposed to terrorize people, period. Fisk is a criminal, and he should be handled as criminals are handled. Well, in his county, criminals aren't handled really. Peaceful people are handled. So I don't know how to handle criminals in his county based on the stats, but you know.
But it's like a gang, all of them together. Because I know we have some pictures from the sheriffs and stuff over there. Walker County is involved with it too, because it's like a whole little clique up there. Y'all remember when we was leaving out how it felt? We was leaving out. We was like, look,
that was an eerie feeling.
Yeah,
it was. And yeah, it's dark, twisty roads, and we're out there, and it's like, wait a minute, we saw the blue lights, but I'm glad they were busy with somebody else. So that we, went on by. I'm sorry for that other person. I don't know what they did, but we just glad that we were able to make it up out of there, because that the whole feeling of that was up there. And like you said, T, yeah, it is spiritual. It's spiritual. And anyway, but yeah. But we had Ted brought up, Ted admits he brought up a whole lot of points, but that particular video isn't working. I tried to get it to work, but he made some points about the fact, like he named DuPont and some other places too. Anybody remember in detail what he said, or
I don't,
what he was basically
No, go ahead.
Oh no, because I mean what he was talking about was basically how hemp was actually used in those particular products, for paint and other products that were actually used. But however, DuPont and other companies that had who were using other things, and I want to say that it was actually petroleum that they're actually using in those particular products now. And so we got to stop and think about that when we're talking about hemp, which probably costs less to even grow, that we could use in these particular products and is actually safer. They wanted to use the petroleum. So let's think about following the money on that. So he did bring out those particular companies that fought against him because of them wanting to use petroleum in this particular product. So that was one of the things that he actually brought out about that. So another point that he made that really stood out to me was when he was talking, because he's such a constitutionalist, basically, and talking about how we need to do better at holding our elected officials accountable because they work for us. And at some point in time, it flipped, as he said, and our elected officials are feeling that we work for them instead. So it's at a point now where we need to really be careful about who we are actually putting in these offices, finding out what their agendas are ahead of time, finding out how they vote while they're in there, and then voting them out if they're not working for us, because they work for us and we don't work for them. So that's kind of some things that he actually brought out with that. He also talked about how he brought something that really hit home for me, and that was reefer madness. And so looking at that and where this whole stigma started coming from, we know that a lot of our legislators, and not just our elected officials, but people in general, still have that stigma behind the reefer madness. So if anybody out there in our audience has never seen that, go to YouTube, look up reefer madness, and really take a look at those videos. You would be surprised at what they did to put this stigma on marijuana. You would be so surprised at seeing that. I was just in. I don't know. It just took me back, really did, watching that. And I remember he mentioning that in his talk that he had on that day. But but he brought out a number of points about the Constitution and so forth. So really, those things really resonated with me that day.
George Washington grew weed and owned slaves. I just want to point that out.
See,
if if Ted has taught me one thing, I love Ted Metz, but he has taught us to know the law, right? And because there's no getting around the law. Like, it's like, okay, all this emotion is bullshit. Great. This is how you feel. But guess what? In the court of law, this is what stands X, Y, and Z. So I don't know. I guess people just need to do better of knowing our rights, you know, when it comes to stuff like this. It's heavy.
And they actually used to use that Reefer Magnus as a PSA in schools back in the 50s and 60s or whatever. And can y'all remember those PSAs and stuff from school? You know,
I'm joking. I do remember the commercials though.
Yeah, it's like, this is your brain on drugs. Okay,
Right.
well, I'm glad that cannabis isn't really it's a plant, you know. So hey, but anyway, all right. Well, what we got next, y'all? But should we award him a Moldy Bud award again, just for the heck of it? Just for the sake.
Until he's the Moldy recipient until further notice.
Yeah, just for the moment, just to wake up the ones that still got a little coal in their eyes.
Yeah,
let's see what we got here. Right.
All his little clones can get it.
All of them.
Absolutely. All of them. All of them.
Because it's important to notate that this is North Georgia, right? So it's going to be like a trickle down effect if this stuff goes, you know, if it happens. And I don't know if the rest of the state is really paying attention to it. There's a reason why it's starting in North Georgia. So I don't know.
That trickle down effect. I see what you're saying. That is spiritual. You see what I'm saying? Thinking about that rain down on me. I ain't gonna say.
No, because I mean, even if you think about it, you know, you're talking about Catoosa, and then next was Water. And, you know, they have their little town meetings and what have you with the sheriffs and so forth. So the surrounding counties, you know, and if it actually goes over well, if in their eyes go over well, I would say. And they're actually able to keep those shop owners from having that Delta 8, you know, there. Then how many other sheriffs are going to see that as positive and try the same thing? So that's why it's very important to, you know, like the town hall was very important to have, to bring the awareness to people so that you can actually go out there and be able to just make people aware of what's actually going on, because we do have to stand up for something. The thing about it is what I said, and something that Teresa said was so key in there. And she wasn't standing at the podium when she said it. She was actually sitting in her seat. And I happened to be sitting not too far from her to hear it. She said, I'm an adult.
Yes.
I should be able to legally just do, you know, use this plant. It should be to my discretion, you know, and also brings back something too that Ted was talking about as well. When we're talking about Constitution and so forth, it's more or less like, you know, it's people mandating or telling us what we're supposed to do. Now, I can understand when it comes down to don't go in somebody's store and rob them or have you, but you're actually an elected official, a government, or what have you, telling me that I can't have a plant. You know, that's like telling me, okay, today you can't eat broccoli. You know, that's how, you know, it's a plant. And as an adult, I should have the right to be able to use that plant to my own discretion. You know, I should be able to regulate how much I use at my own discretion. And I understand one of the things that people actually bring out, they talk about, and Sheriff Sis brought it out, that he's concerned about children. Well, apparently not if you're looking at rapes in your county and people are not held accountable for that. But you want to say you're concerned about children. No, you're not. It's about the money, you know, it's about the money, and that's what it is. But you want to camouflage it and say it's about, you know, not having it in the hands of children. Well, the question I have on that is, what about alcohol? Yeah. You know, where does
what about sugar? Sugar's on the shelf. Sugar's deadly.
Hey, you know, kids don't give a damn about marijuana anymore. It's not even cool. Their parents are smoking weed. These kids don't care. Okay,
no, they don't. They don't.
Get them some Yu-Gi-Oh or something. Hey, they still doing Yu-Gi-Oh. Don't worry about it.
But still, the other thing, there are other things that are out there, that these kids are doing. And I mean, back a long time ago, I would say, when I was in high school, don't tell anybody, it was that long ago. But I knew people who actually smoked marijuana back then. Okay, but what I don't remember was anybody or going to school one day and saying that somebody died from smoking marijuana. But I remember losing classmates because they were driving drunk. And we were all in high school. I remember that, and that's even still happening today. The number of teens that are out there drunk driving and dying and so forth, or you have alcohol poisoning for young people. That's what's actually happening. I have not heard anybody having issues with marijuana like that.
And pills and cocaine
on the wrong thing.
They like that.
That cocaine, yeah.
They ain't worried about
They like cocaine.
They love that.
Yes.
And they ain't banned Tide. They still making meth. They got Tide on all the shelves. You know what I mean? Tide and
Sudafed.
It's hard to get the Sudafed. Oh my God.
They got their ways. They got that. They ain't make it illegal, and they ain't not giving you 40 years if you get caught with it twice.
Okay, but you know what? Let's get on that for a second. When you talk about the Sudafed, okay, just talk about that. They did not make it illegal. What they did was, now that for those of us who are allergy sufferers, we now have to show ID to go and
scan it.
Our allergy meds that have pseudoephedrine in them. You have to have, and you can only get so much in a certain time frame. So you get some this week, you can't go back for another 2-3 weeks till you can get some more allergy medicine that has Sudafed, like all of your Claritin Ds, just to throw out a name out there. Anything with a D in it, with the decongestant, you have to be able to show your license at the pharmacy to be able to get that. So my question is this: if they did something like that and didn't take that off the, didn't remove that, can't they do the same thing? And I'm not saying that you want to regulate that much, but my point is, you want to take away something that people actually need. Just like we need allergy medicines, people need their cannabis as well for whatever ailments they actually have, or just to smoke it if they particularly want to. It's an herb. It's not made. It's an herb. Yes, there are derivatives that may be made from it, but however, it's still an herb. And so my philosophy is they do what they want to do based upon how much money they stand to lose. Not how much money they stand to get, but how much money they stand to lose is the way they're looking at it.
Yeah.
They can do what they want to do.
That's the point. They can do exactly what they want to do, and it's all about money. When you follow the money, you will be able to see exactly what's going on. And it's right in your face. That's the thing. They're not really hiding it. It's in your face. You just have to wake up and be aware of what's going on, and just stop being oblivious to your surroundings, but be aware of what's going on. It's going on in your county, going on in your neighborhoods, everywhere it's going on. And so it's time for us to be able to stand up and hold people accountable, because what you have, and especially with the sheriff, a sheriff is an elected official. Elected.
Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to vote them out if they're not working for you or your favor. And that is what people need to do at this particular point in time, because it's just getting to be too ridiculous. It really is.
Can I ask this one question? Let me ask this one question just for y'all to think about this. Okay. If how me growing up, I know that when I was coming out the closet, when I came out the closet, basically the ones that were so dead set against it, years on down the road, I found out they was coming out of the closet too. You see what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if right now, if these so-called people are so dead set against it, really and truly, are they trying to hide their inner conflict about cannabis? And I'm just wondering if he is willing, Sheriff Fisk is willing to give a hair sample to make sure that he doesn't have any cannabinoids. Now, if he says, I just use CBD, guess what? What happens with CBD? What happens with the body? The body can metabolize CBD into THC. So basically, you using it before it actually metabolize into it. So can we go ahead and see whether or not if he's willing to give a hair sample?
Or one of his family members close to him. Because I'm not worried about him. I'm quite sure that there's a family member or a friend or
because one of his deputies got arrested for selling edibles. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So
I was about to bring it up. Yeah.
Because usually they say the preacher's kids are the worst ones.
PK.
Hold on. Wait. I'm a PK.
I'm sorry, my bad. Don't throw nothing at me. I'm sorry.
but yeah, that does hold some truth though. Sorry. But oh goodness, but yeah, that was another point that you brought up, and that was one that I was his own deputies actually had, was arrested, deputy and the wife, I believe it was. And so you have this going on within your staff, but you want to go and harass a legal shop owner. Oh man. Yeah, we can.
And we forget one important, I think, element too, that we forget, that these type of people, sometimes it's not about the money or whatever. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's also about the power. And what Sheriff Fisk has in his city, in his little funky town, not Coweta. I mean, I'm sorry. It's early in the morning. That's why I try not to do these things till afternoon, because you know what I'm saying, my mouth is not prepared for the world in the morning. This truth is coming out real. I don't have the real capacity to beautify this thing. Okay,
you ain't got no morning filter.
I don't have no morning filter. Don't. If you want the truth, ask me when I wake up. Because I'm gonna tell it to you how you want. Probably not how you want it, but anyway, all of them out there in their towns don't have no real power in this world. They probably only run their little households. And so they get out here and they affect their little power on folks. And then you scare the people, you scare the town half to death. They afraid to vote you out because they afraid you're going to do something, because they didn't understand civics enough to understand that when they vote you out, you don't have no power. So they just shook and scared, which most people are shook and scared, not realizing they had a power to change, to be the change they want in this world. So this man I'm looking at on this screen right here look like a man who ain't got a lot of things in life. He's just looking to get the power wherever he can and terrorize people. Because if he was a real man, he would focus on domestic violence. If he was a real leader and a real protector, he would focus on closing out the rape cases and using the money allotted from the state to fix that, and not send deputies sitting outside on the clock in front of a legal establishment. Well, so that says to me that he lacks power. And probably got a little, little thing, and he enacts that.
Allegedly.
I said probably got a little thing.
Probably.
I don't know. I ain't never seen it. He probably down with the swirl though. You know that's how they are. They act. The slave catchers be acting like they hate the people, and then they be raping the people. So, I venture to say that this man and them folks that he working with is in it for the power and to take the land and stuff that them folks got up there, because they don't got nothing, because you ain't nothing. So,
and the thing is, he has ample opportunity to defend himself, right? And to defend his stance and to say what he has to say, but he ain't show up. He didn't show up.
He didn't show up.
He don't have no courage. No. He hide behind the back.
He sent his imp. He sent his little imp up in that church. He
and
sent
we're gonna go to the next slide.
But you know something, and I know this will be something that when we could talk about on another show. But you said something. Oh, Arica, you said something that really, really spoke to me on that one. You said something about civics.
Yeah.
And do you realize, and I would say this because of the fact that growing up, both my parents were teachers. My mother actually, before she started teaching home economics, she actually taught civics. And I remember by the time I got to high school, civics was no longer a required subject. I wonder why. Oh, we know why. We know why.
We know why.
And that's basically because at that point, you were actually teaching people about government and what the government's supposed to do, how the government's supposed to act. You were actually teaching people that in high school, and it was a requirement. And it's no longer a requirement. So now, because it's not a requirement in school, people are not actually going out and learning about how this is supposed to work. So when you have that, was to say, for the lack of knowledge, people will perish.
That's right.
So when you take that knowledge away from them, that used to be a requirement, it was done for a reason. And so that would be something to kind of go back and research. Why was civics taken out of school? And how did we come to this point where we are today, where our officials are pretty much doing what the heck they want? Wasn't there a time back in the day when they actually did work for the people? When did that change? So that'd be something to kind of take a look at.
When the people changed, when your community became more blacker and they had to work for black people, and the communities came more browner and they had to work for brown people, and white people looked up and was like, whoa, wait a second. I signed up to serve a community, and this ain't it.
Well, I'm going to turn that around to what they did to the truckers. What they did with the truckers, basically, they realized that truck drivers made money. Then they introduced the daggum CDL, that you actually have a commercial driver's license. Once upon a time, truck drivers used to have different driver's license in different states before they went ahead and did the the Federal Motor Carrier, whatever that is, commission, and what, I don't forgot. I done been out of it for so long, but it's just the fact that you think about when they see that the common man actually coming up, they want to make sure they keep us stunted, at where we are. But look, we can go on about this topic on and on, but yeah, we hey, we just came on briefly this morning.
I just want to say one more thing. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. To go with what Angie said about them taking civics out of school. If you think about the three major things that they took out of school, they took the mind, they took the body, and they took the soul. They took like government and civics out, which is intellect. They took out physical, like PE and physical activity, which is the body. Yeah. And then they removed all the arts, which is the soul. They send you to public school to be an automaton, to be a worker bee, not to think, not to be healthy, and not to feel.
It's set up to be like an institution. If you think
it's set up like prison.
Yeah, exactly. You're right.
Spiritual, anything.
Ooh, they preparing us to be little minions. That's what they're preparing. They preparing the kids, because when they took out phonics, think about that, writing in cursive. If you want to write something nowadays, write it in cursive if you don't want the kids to know. Teach your kids cursive writing. Teach them, phonics. I mean, that's just my opinion, because you got to sound out a word instead of sight word. I mean, I understand the sight thing, but to actually say, hey, let me sound this out. Because that's like taking time to go ahead and allow it to absorb in your head.
Why would they do that? We live in a microwave society right now, right? Everything is quick. You don't need all those things, they think. And I don't know, y'all. I think we need to slow down as a people and really take in what is happening.
And we had a chance to think about it during the time when we was locked down back in 2020. That's when everybody was that was the Great Awakening. Thinking about that, you think about how peaceful it was, how the sky cleaned up, how like the earth renewed and all this other stuff. People actually had a conscience, but it's like, no, we got to get these people back to work. That's just my opinion. But they had to get these people back to work. So it's something deeper to this. It's very,
because they were at home thinking too much.
I know, living and being happy and at peace. And like,
you
at the house like getting fit. You at the house like expanding your mind, starting businesses. What?
Exactly.
You gotta get your ass back to the office. You got too much free time to think about your free.
Right.
Legacy market was booming.
What you talking about?
And it was essential. Cannabis was essential during the pandemic. So can you get arrested for doing an essential job that the government has deemed essential?
I mean,
I guess if you live in Sheriff Fisk area, you can.
Because
the feds said this is essential. But Sheriff Fisk said, because Sheriff Fisk, a leader of 20,000 people, said Stop it. Stop it. You can tell you ain't led nothing in your life. You ain't a winner, bruh. You can just tell a loser when you see him, man. Like, ain't no winning you, bruh. You won, Sheriff. That was it. Keep it going. That's all he got in his life.
Let me take him down. Oh my God. Let me take him down because I think he just, oh my God. Ooh.
Well, maybe he'll
say but that's just
maybe
he go. Well, let me stop.
Maybe he'll say, "Hey, can I be on y'all podcast?" Welcome, Sheriff Fisk. We would
come on. We'll welcome you in. We welcome you once. We welcome you twice. You're welcome, welcome, welcome. You got to say.
And I won't even ask about your erectile dysfunction.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just saying, anybody that got that much time to do that, he not getting no vagina. He not getting no.
Yeah, it's plenty of people out there not getting
his hands to sit.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
People who are like emotionally fed and like have somebody to like think about them in a beautiful way doesn't usually spend their time terrorizing other people. That's just not, those two things don't go hand in hand. Usually people who have tiny penises and no respect go after people like that. I'm sorry. I'm gonna stop referencing his manhood because it's very little, but I'm gonna stop. I learned this from Donald Trump. He taught me that people who act like this have tiny hands and tiny penises. I didn't know this before then. But it's also something I learned during 2020.
It's the energy that you're giving.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and announce this first. Okay. What Sheriff Fisk has done, he has caused. I'm gonna go ahead and announce this so we can go ahead and move to the next section. This right here, I had shared this earlier. Basically, what he's caused these shop owners, they're going to have to obtain a services of an attorney, and they have a GoFundMe. You can go to the shop page. You can actually go to the shop page and see the whole broadcast of what happened in the town hall meeting. And it's sad that they're actually having to raise money so they can get their legal fees, so they can protect themselves. I understand. Like I learned when I was working in the industry about the state of Georgia industry when they said the 5 P's: prior planning prevents poor performance. So basically they need to go ahead and get on this to make sure that they're covered on all aspects. And like I said, my heart goes out to them. You know, there's some good people. They're helping some good people out there. You know what I mean? And they're speaking out, and I'm glad. They just need to stay strong, and just know that we're out here in spirit. We're sending y'all warm wishes, welcome, whatever, you know, we can do what we can, you know, on this end to try and shed a light on it. But I mean, we need bigger platforms. If you're out there, you got a bigger platform, please share this information about Catoosa County. We shouldn't even be focusing on some freaking Delta 8. This Delta 8.
That's what I'm saying.
That weed. We shouldn't even be focused on this. So
it doesn't make sense at all. It really doesn't, you know.
So, but
I tell you,
I'm all the white on white crime, man.
Ooh,
all those other things. There's so many different things that are going on in the world that could be focused on right now, and to me, cannabis isn't one of them. You know,
leave it alone.
It's a plan, and let people do what they're going to do. You know, and we need to stop this stigma. People need to actually do their research about this plant, get out of the reefer madness era, you know, and just let everybody move on, and just from there.
It might not be for everybody.
You know, and at that point, but everything is not for everybody. There, I mean, if you think about it, there are certain pharmaceuticals out there that some people can't even take. You know, so it's basically, it depends upon your body, but you should be allowed to be able to use an herb the way that you want to use that herb, whether it's medicinal or whether it's for adult use. And I do say adult use. And I, you know, so but you should have the right to be able to use that without anybody, you know, trying to stop you or put you in jail for it. So that's just the bottom. You know, it is an infringement. It is an infringement.
Yeah,
you know,
you're infringing on my rights.
You know,
it's just like, shoot, if I want to take a Motrin or a Tylenol, or which one do I want to take? You know, I don't want to take the one that's going to destroy my liver, even though I already got other health issues. I don't want to add to it. At least the weed, cannabis is helping me. It's helping my metabolism. It's helping my intellect. It's keeping me alive a little bit more, I believe. Mm-hmm. So,
and look, it has less disclaimers. You probably have less disclaimers on that than you would from the pharmaceuticals at the bottom. That guy talking really fast, so you don't know what the heck he's saying. Yeah, you know, if you have suicidal thoughts. Now hold on, I'm
black. Your eyebrows it's gonna
your breath gonna stink.
Your breath gonna stink. Your tongue gonna turn purple. Your nose gonna turn pink. Your nose. Okay, then you might die.
But it might make your booty grow. It'll make your booty grow though. It'll make your booty grow.
But you're gonna have a little hair on the inside though. You're gonna get this hair patch you ain't never seen before though. But your booty will be big, yes.
Somebody out there now talking about what drug is that? Let me go head on. Look, I'm gonna ask myself because look. Okay, I'll just go to the dollar store and buy me that $9.99 one. Don't even worry about it.
But you know, but that's the truth. You think about it though. Yeah. You hear the pharmaceuticals with all the disclaimers at the bottom. You're not going to get that from cannabis, and it's more or less like the 12 about the psychotropic effect. Well, there are pharmaceuticals that give you that same thing, and you're saying that's okay, but it can destroy my liver. So but the thing about it is it's up to the individual, and you as a person need to know exactly how much you can take. Just like they have dosages on a bottle of medication, you know exactly how much you can take based upon your own body, your genetic makeup, or your body, or how it reacts with you. So it should be a personal thing and not something that someone basically says I cannot have because it does this. Well, that it's a personal thing, and I should have a choice, for something that grows out of the earth, just like I have a choice for anything else that grows out of the earth. That should be a personal choice and not something that someone tells me that I cannot do if I choose to. You have actually taken away my right, and it's time for us to stand up for our rights. It really is. But I tell you what, none of this actually makes any sense at all. It just doesn't, but before we go today, we do have a few events we want to highlight in the cannabis space. We do have some wonderful things that actually
Yes,
I thought that was the cue that you told me to go with it. I'm sorry. I thought that was cute. We're going to get this going.
No, that was the cue. That was the cue.
That was the cue. Right? Okay, that was the cue. Gotcha.
Okay. So y'all do know this is the month of April, 420. So it's going up all over the nation. Here are some of the top events that we've seen coming up on the weekend, this week, and this month. One thing that we do know is that the Senate Majority Leader calls for the legalization of marijuana during the 420 holiday. So that's exciting, right? So for one, we got on next Sunday, April 10th, Normal Women of Georgia. We are going to be having our first in-person chapter meeting in 2 years. So we're really excited about that. Arica Jay, she's a communications director. I'm executive director. And we're also going to be introducing our new board. So that's exciting. Make sure y'all check us out at Island Vibes Kava Bar in Smyrna next Sunday at 1 p.m. There is also on 4/19, well, this is something different, but on 4/19.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. 4/19. You want me to talk about the session? It's fine. I was going to talk about
yeah, okay. I just didn't have the graphics for the cash color.
No, you're fine. It's fine. I'll just talk about it real quick. On 4/19, Cash Color Cannabis, if y'all follow Mecca or whatever, he has his own podcast. It's always amazing on Tuesday nights. He is going to be presenting the night before 20. I love that. That was such a dope tagline. Yes. After the show. So the vibes will be up. We had a great time every single time we go to Cash Color Cannabis, his holiday party, all the other things that he does. So make sure y'all go online, Instagram, and support him. On 4/20, this is what you were talking about, showing before the session. The Session Atlanta is a day event that they're having from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. I know the early bird tickets are already gone. But get your tickets today. You can go online on Instagram and check them out, the Session ATL. What else do we have? We got a lot of stuff, so I'm about to be reading some. 422, 422. Actually, it's 423 to the 24th in DC is the National Cannabis Festival. Wiz Khalifa's going to be there. I believe I'm going to be a judge for the CannaShame contest that's coming up this year. So that's exciting. My business partner and I, we won last year. So we're looking forward to seeing all the new ideas that are coming out now. Make sure y'all get your tickets for that in DC. Next, we have a local, actually, this is 4:30, the House-A-Rama. Oh, yes, our friend Live. He's like a big brother to us. So 4:30, we're having the High-End Music Partners. They are going to be bringing back the House-A-Rama at the Omega World Center. This is going to be the Greek edition. So all y'all in the Divine Nine, make sure you go online and get your tickets. This is going to be really dope.
I know this is not on the notes, but there you
No,
go.
you're fine. The industry mixer, that is going to be, the 22nd, it says?
Yeah, the 22nd, yeah.
This is something new that I actually just kind of came across. So there's another event that's coming up on April 22nd. What else do we have? Oh my goodness.
It's May. It's still early. It's early. Get your registration.
Yes. Did we talk about the World Cannabis Industry? No, this is going to be
that's the world. Actually, this is the World Cannabis Industry. This is the one right here. The Georgia CIA. Yeah, this is the one right here for the industry mixer.
Perfect.
Yes.
With Teresa, who you saw on there earlier, reading the letter. And then we also have on May the 12th through the 14th is the Southeastern Hemp and Medical Cannabis Convention. It's virtual and live, I believe. We have some of the keynote speakers will be Dallas Austin, and that's presented by Organic Analytics. We had a great time a few years ago when we went. So we're looking forward to that event as well.
Right.
I'm quite sure there's going to be a few things popping up more. So just make sure you guys kind of check out our website and our Instagram. We'll be updating you if need be. That's it.
Ooh, April is about to be lit. Oh my goodness. For real. So everybody, one thing I make sure to understand or remember, I would say that you can watch all our podcasts on YouTube, Twitch, or directly on the CannaShame Network website. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to all of our channels. And catch our next episode for more real conversations about the different things going on in the cannabis space. Thank you all for tuning in. And until next time, peace and plans.
Take care.
Take care, y'all. See you next time.
If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing is the pains in the past. Move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic. Got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.